This is the VTOMAN FlashSpeed 1500 power station. It's built like a tank, with a really solid rectangular design and handles on both ends. It's not exactly what I'd call light. This thing weighs just north of 40 pounds, but honestly, that kind of weight gives me peace of mind that what's inside is solid. You've got this black and yellow look, and a big, bright display in the front, which I'll talk about in a second. If you're new to power stations, just think of the FlashSpeed 1500 as a giant rechargeable battery that can run or recharge your stuff when there's no wall socket available. From my experience using power stations, my first thought when I saw the specs for this was, it's impressive for a portable option. I'll be honest, I've tested a number of brands, and I was a little skeptical at first about how much muscle this one had. Sometimes you see big numbers on the box, but you're not sure if it actually delivers in practice. With the FlashSpeed 1500, after some days of using it, I feel like it very much backs up what it promises. Key features stand out right away. The 1500-watt continuous power rating is enough to handle almost anything you throw at it. That means you can plug in things like a coffee maker, a hairdryer, even a good-sized fridge or some power tools. And if something needs a quick jump in power to start, it can handle surges up to 3000 watts, which usually happens when you start motors or appliances with compressors. One thing I like is just how simple it is. You get 3 standard wall outlets up front, which makes things super easy for anyone used to regular plugs. Something else I absolutely appreciate is fast charging. VTOMAN claims you can take this battery from empty to full in about an hour using an ordinary wall outlet. That's seriously fast compared to others I've tried before, where it could take 3, 4, even 5 hours for a full recharge. In my own use, plugging it into my home socket, it topped up just about as quick as they said, give or take a few minutes depending on what else I had plugged in at the same time. That's a huge relief for anyone like me who doesn't want to wait forever before heading back out on a camping trip, or just wants to be prepared quickly in case the power goes out. Versatility is another win for the FlashSpeed 1500. You're not stuck charging this with just one type of cable. There's the wall outlet, but also a spot for solar panels, up to 400 watt if you're parked somewhere sunny, and even the cigarette lighter port from your car. I'm not always outdoors with access to solar, but it's nice knowing it's an option, especially if you're thinking about off-grid living or taking it for extended road trips. There's something clever about the top of this machine. They've put a little storage compartment with a lid, so you can keep all your charging cables and the manual right with the power station. Personally, I'm big on not losing my cables, so having a built-in spot for everything is a small touch, but it matters. I don't have to carry a second bag or risk losing something important when I'm already juggling gear. On the front, you've got a very decent screen, although honestly, if I'm being totally upfront, it could be brighter. Sometimes when I'm outside or have overhead lights hitting it, I have to squint to see the numbers. But the layout is clear, and it gives you essential info, like how much power you're using, how much battery you have left, and how long you can keep running whatever you've plugged in. Another thing I want to mention is the range of ports. For charging my phone and laptop, dual USB-C ports with 100-watt output each are a total lifesaver. I have a MacBook that's a bit finicky about needing a lot of wattage, and most power stations skimp in this area. Here, I can basically leave my fast charger at home and use the VTOMAN directly. Plus, you get regular USB-A ports, including one that's quick charging, so even when I invite friends over during a blackout or at camp, everyone can power up their devices at once. There's a 12-volt car port and 2 barrel ports for things like mini fridges or certain types of camping lights. And for those who like to be prepared for emergencies, you can actually use this thing to jump-start your car with the right cable, which you do have to buy separately. Personally, I haven't had a stranded car situation to test that out on, but knowing it's an option is reassuring for road trips. The UPS functionality was something I didn't really get into until lately. This just means if I connect, let's say a CPAP machine or my modem at home, and there's a power outage, the station seamlessly kicks in and keeps my device running. It's super fast, so you won't even notice the power drop. For anyone who needs something to stay online all the time, like critical medical equipment or just their home Wi-Fi, it offers real peace of mind. Durability is a huge plus here. This isn't a regular old battery. VTOMAN uses what's called a LiFePO4 cell, or lithium iron phosphate chemistry. That's a type of battery that's much longer lasting and safer than older types. What that means for normal folks, This thing could cycle from full to empty and back more than 3,000 times before starting to lose capacity. If I think about how many times a year I actually use up a whole battery, it adds up to many years of use. It's not one of those gadgets you'll have to replace in a short while. The capacity at 1548 watts is pretty big, but you can actually double it by connecting a second battery, all integrated and super easy to do. I tried it once, and while it adds to the weight, it pretty much takes away any worry about running out of power on longer off-grid stretches. Now, a few things that aren't perfect, and I'm all about being honest in a quick review. Like I mentioned, it's not light. 40 plus pounds is a workout if you're carrying it any serious distance, especially for smaller folks. The handles do help, but you probably don't want to be lugging it too far from your car or RV. Another thing is the cooling fan. When it's working hard, especially when charging super fast or running big appliances, the fans do get loud. It's not unbearable, but it breaks the quiet if you're out camping or if you're like me in a quiet room at night. Lastly, the overload protection doesn't totally shut things off. If you run appliances that need more than 1500 watt, it just cuts them down, which may or may not be perfect for really sensitive electronics. There's a built-in light on the back that's actually quite useful, not just a tiny LED on the front like some brands. You've got modes for low, medium, high, as well as a flashing SOS mode. On my last camping trip, I ended up pointing this toward my tent for reliable light all night. Small detail, but it's the kind of thing that saves you having to bring an extra lantern. From my experience, I'd recommend this for people who want backups for their home during blackouts, those who go on camping or RV trips, or honestly anyone who needs to keep gear running away from an electric outlet. If you're looking for something that's easy to set up, charges super fast, and has flexibility for expansion, it checks those boxes. In conclusion, the VTOMAN FlashSpeed 1500 stands out, especially for its quick charging, versatile outputs, and solid build quality. I had my doubts about the weight and fan noise, but the upside here is just huge compared to most other portable power stations I've had my hands on. If you're looking for reliability, a bit more juice, and convenience, it's a smart pick. If you found this quick review helpful, or have any thoughts about using the FlashSpeed 1500, let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.